Well, here we are back with another conversation here live at MODEX 2026. I'm Sean. I'm the host of Between the Forks, the official Clark podcast. And I am joined by
Greg Matthews.
Greg Matthews. Where are you from?
So I live in Gaithersburg, Maryland, originally from New Jersey. Born and raised in New Jersey. I moved around the country. My first job was with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Okay.
So I moved around quite a bit before kids.
Yep.
But yeah, I've been in Maryland in the DC metro area since 2011.
Okay.
And so I've been in the industry for about 6 years now.
How do you like driving around that traffic out there?
You know what? I'm used to it. I went from New Jersey and then, Maryland, it's not much better. It's not much, so it's about the same, though.
Yeah. And where do you work?
So our office is right outside of Baltimore.
Okay.
We have 8 locations, 25 sales reps. We have locations in Youngstown, Ohio, Akron, Ohio. We have one in Pittsburgh, as well as Richmond, Virginia, Chesapeake, Virginia, Winchester, Virginia, and also on the Eastern Shore in Dover, Delaware.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in all these locations, you sell Clark in all these locations?
We do, yeah. All but one.
Okay.
So we don't sell Clark in Pittsburgh, but all the other locations we're a Clark dealer. And we just hit our 70th year anniversary with Alliance, which is pretty cool. We're also an employee-owned company.
Yeah.
And so when I first got to Alliance, my responsibility was to rebuild our entire sales team.
Okay.
So a lot of my philosophy has been hiring from outside the industry, with limited knowledge, but to have the core fundamentals of sales. And that's really worked well.
How do you do that? How do you take somebody? I mean, this is, I think, a topic that a lot of people probably don't spend a lot of time on. They don't think about. I want to ask you about that. You're taking somebody who might have some sales background, they might have some skill there, but they come into a brand new vertical like forklifts, material handling. What's your process there? What's that look like? How do you get them ready?
Yeah, so great question. A lot of it starts in the interview process, and we have a pretty rigorous process to really make sure that somebody understands how to sell. Value proposition of selling solutions, finding pains, really understanding the application of what's most important to the customer. Because as you know, there's a ton of different opportunities and competitors and different brands of forklifts. But when we bring somebody in, we really spend a lot of time helping them understand the industry. Build a lot of time around application, what products and solutions fit into what application. Obviously, we're going to get deep into the products so they have a good understanding of what works and what shouldn't work, but really being very curious and not just focus on forklifts, but focus on complete warehouse solutions.
I'm going to guess, I don't know for a fact, very familiar with the automotive industry. And I know this exists in that industry, where it can be very refreshing to actually bring people outside of the industry and train them fresh and new.
Yeah.
And that customers like us, when we go to buy a car, when we're working with somebody who's in maybe a more modern or newer era, been trained to do this. Is that something that happens that you see in forklifts as well, where they don't have the baggage of maybe bad sales habits, and now you get to start with a clean slate?
Well, I totally agree with you there. And I think if you are in a growth mindset, you could definitely hire somebody that's been in the industry, that might have been an account manager, that might have had, 30 or 40 core customers, but they're not in the realm of going after and hunting for new business. They're pretty much stuck in their old ways, and I don't know that they're really going out and trying to capture new business. Whereas you find somebody that is hungry, that really loves to hunt for new business, wants to bring on new clients. I feel like that path works really well for us, and it's proven for us as we continue to grow that if you have people that are out there that understand, how many meetings they need to go on, how many opportunities they need to create. We're big into doing a lot of one-on-ones with our salespeople, identifying opportunities, understanding what the stage is. Have we quoted it? Do we understand their buying cycle? And also whether or not who we're competing against, and what are we up against, and how do we structure creative deals to get those products in the hands of our customers through Alliance. And so I think a lot of it has to do with just the individuals that we're hiring today have an appetite to want to grow, and we're managing those expectations from the beginning. In the interview process, we're not looking for somebody to just come in and be an account manager.
Yeah.
We obviously want to build the relationship with the customer, but we have to get new customers in order to grow. And that's been our primary focus.
Sounds like if I'm coming to work for you, I'm going to have to be using that CRM tool.
It is a mandatory process, but believe it or not, when you're in the interview process and you're starting to hire people that are maybe it's their second outside sales position,
Yep.
you'd be amazed. Most of them, number one, are familiar with the Salesforce CRM application.
Yeah.
They can't live without it.
Yeah.
So it's not like, well, what is CRM? They want to know, what CRM do you use? And
Yes.
that's when you know you got the right person, because it's not Big Brother where, you know, we're checking every single day on how many meetings and emails they logged and phone calls they logged.
Right.
But if you really want to be effective, you've got to go on meetings, you've got to know where your opportunities are, and you've got to manage your pipeline.
Absolutely.
And if, you know, because otherwise, you know, you're just not going to be able to keep up with those expectations, especially with new customers. So I think it's interesting now, if you're hiring the right people, they want different tools and resources to be successful.
Yeah.
And one of them is how quickly they can access customer information.
Yeah.
When was the last time they met with a customer?
Right.
You know, how many, when's their leases expire? All that is tied into our CRM system. So we're notifying our salespeople on where to go versus them waking up in the morning and going, all right, well, you know, I guess I'm going to go out and cover this territory.
Yep.
We really try to map out the territory, get some really good customer and prospect data to be able to point them in the right direction so where they're going to be the most successful.
That's exactly how it should be utilized. And you know this clearly because you obviously have a lot of experience as a sales professional. My background being both sales and marketing,
Yeah.
I hate the fact that almost every industry that first took on CRM almost used it as a punishment tool.
Right.
And that you mentioned like the Big Brother thing. And then so you have salespeople who are apprehensive, or that's what their association, their mindset is with it. When in all reality, it is one of the most effective tools, not just to help salespeople get good deals, but it's a fantastic tool when marketing is just like, hey, we gave you a budget, go get a bunch of opportunities, and then your salespeople are going to work them. But if your salespeople are telling you like, these aren't that great, that's how marketing knows what's there. And if they don't put those notes in, if we can't go back and track, how did this turn into a closed won deal? Where's the story? Where's the narrative of how this happened? When you have all of that, which you clearly are building, that tells you everything you need to know to tighten that go-to-market where sales and marketing truly get aligned.
Yeah.
I love hearing that. It's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, and I would say one of the things that we use when we're trying to coach up our salespeople is my philosophy is you always start with results. How did you do? What did you close?
Yep.
And if you're at your expectation for the volume of business and goals and expectations, then great. If you're not, then we can start peeling the onion back. All right, well, how many opportunities did you create?
Right.
How many moved to the next stage, right? Do you need some help with closing skills? Do you need help with a gap in your product knowledge? So, being able to track that, really starting with results, looking at opportunities, looking at where they're spending their time in the field. Are they in the office too much? Are they actually out creating relationships and identifying opportunities? To me, that's the best philosophy that I've seen to be the most successful.
I love it.
Yeah.
What a great conversation. Okay, last question I have.
Yeah.
This is the off the farm question. When you're not building this amazing sales organization, what do you like to do in your spare time?
Well, so I have a 14-year-old son that plays competitive travel baseball. So that's kind of taken away my golf game. I used to play a ton of golf. Now I try to just go out and hit balls, or I try to play here and there. But I'm on a baseball field watching him play every weekend. He's got like 12 tournaments coming up.
Yeah.
My daughter does competitive cheer, so my wife and I, we kind of divide and conquer. Not any different than anybody else that has kids that are in sports, but that consumes a lot of my time. I'm big avid workout, go to F45, try to do that in the morning.
Okay.
If you don't do that in the morning, you're never going to get it done. So I really try to instill a lot of the discipline in my personal life along with my professional career to have a lot of consistency. I find that if I have the same principles and same things that I've got going on, I perform better as a sales leader when I take care of myself, when I eat well, when I try to get up and do the same routine, which seems monotonous for a lot of people, but that's really what my recipe has been for success.
I love that. And I relate to it because, my son's 27 now.
Okay.
But I started coaching him when they were 10. And they very quickly turned into not just a rec ball team. Like, no, you guys need to get out, play competitive.
Yeah.
Then we started to play tournaments. We traveled all around Texas, a little bit outside.
Yeah.
Love that. And now my son makes all kinds of content. He works with the Texas Rangers.
It's really neat.
Yeah, so much fun. I'm glad to hear that. That is literally that's the fuel for your life that probably charges you up to be able to have all the success that you're having with Long. So
without a doubt. And I think the other thing is, we're always learning. We're always trying new things. The key is to not be complacent, right? In anything.
Yeah.
And so you try to teach that to your kids. You try to teach that to your employees. You try to really, the way I look at it is I used to coach too. Yeah. And now I coach my sales leaders and my employees, my sales people to be successful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you kind of give them the leeway to try to, figure some things out on their own, but give them very, very clear understandings of expectations to be successful. To me, that's what I love.
Love it. Love it. Keep hitting home runs.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
You get your microphone.
Yep.
And I won't leave it hanging on the fist bump.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.